the edge for retail traders is to be creative, to look where everybody else isn't looking.
As more tech companies keep skyrocketing higher, the hunt is on for more stocks that still have room to run.
These are off the beaten path names. Pretty inexpensive stock, a great way for a long-term investment.
Jonathan Rose with InvestorPlace shares a list of 5 tech stocks still flying under Wall Street's radar.
I was surprised when I found it. It's somewhat new.
Don't miss these 5 interesting stock tickers, plus the strategy you can follow to find more hidden gems on your own. Jonathan, so great to have you on the show. We are excited to talk to you about these really great names today. I think the big story today and every day is AI. Another big investment announcement today from OpenAI, just showing more and more momentum in tech and AI development. I think a lot of retail investors out there are wondering, is there still value to be had when we're at this all-time record high? Every day it seems like we're setting a new high right now. Is there still value out there?
I think there's a ton of value in these special pockets of the market. It feels like volatility is somewhat low, but yet you'll see these pockets in the market that are up 5%, 10%, all stocks in the industry. So I'm surprised actually volatility is so low because I do think right now there is just so much opportunity.
There's a lot of opportunity, especially in some of those names that maybe aren't as mainstream, aren't making as many headlines. And I know that's the list you have for us today. You actually have 5 different tech-related names that are kind of flying under the radar and still have a lot of value left in them. So we're really excited about this list. Let's get to the first company that you have for us today.
I've done nothing but trade my entire career. And I was a market maker on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange. So I'm really looking to go where the excitement is, where the volatility is. And right now, it's like the US government is kind of showing their hand. I call it they're like weaponizing the stock market with all these different investments that they're doing. One of their big investments, MP, a deep sea mining company, which I don't have a deep sea miner to talk about, but when they invested in MP, all the other deep sea miners followed along. They're like, wow, money's coming into the industry. One place where we really like, and it was actually, I put out a video in the beginning of 2025 about one of my favorite sectors, and it's drones. The US government invested in a company called Katos, and they're investing in drones. And when I first started talking about Katos, I mean, it was kind of a dark thought, but I guess it's a hedge because if attack drones end up taking over the world, at least you're invested in the attack drone company when they come and attack. So the world is changing fast. And so that's why I do like Katos. But as Katos is going higher, we call it the poor man's Katos, ticker symbol KRMN is actually my favorite way to invest in the drone space and in the military defense space right now.
These are both really good names and good stocks. Two great picks off the bat here. Our viewers have been very interested in drone stocks. We've talked a lot about drones on the channel, maybe starting about 2 or 3 months ago.
Yep.
And then that whole sector kind of didn't do much of anything for a couple of months until the last few weeks. It seems like we've seen a huge resurgence in interest here. What could be behind that?
I think governments. I think that the U.S. government is investing in Katos, and then it's just a rising tide lifts all ships. We want to be invested where the money is going into. And that right now is drones, quantum, uranium, even solar right now is making big moves. And once these industries start moving, you don't have to necessarily just go to the ETF. What we like to do is go under the hood and see what companies are making up these indexes. Oftentimes you'll get one that's flying higher, but the rest of the industry needs to catch up, and they are.
Now, for you, do you like to get in at more of a value play? I think that's what this video topic is all about, is trying to find value in some of these stocks. We see a couple of these charts, especially Kratos, like you said, really, really high right now. Is there still upside ahead for this one? And it looks like KRMN, it has a little bit more upside to come potentially. It's on that lower end, but still in the high of its own range. Is there still upside when these stocks are trading so high right now?
I would look at them relative to one another. And so as Katos continues to trade higher, that just gives Carmen more room to work.
I know you're in the market trading every day. You have a show every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We have a QR code here and a link that you can follow to sign up free for his program and go see some of how he would trade these stocks every day, too. It's also got a training video if you're new to options. Again, that's totally free. Jonathan, so interesting to see these opportunities for retail investors in tech that can also be really good opportunities for trading, too, right?
I would always joke around that we have to find the right playground to play in. So we don't talk a lot about the NVIDIA, Microsoft's, Meta of the world. Rather, I want to find some smaller stocks that really have room to move. So as we get into some more of our names, and you'll see a big theme right now is the US government says a lot of things. This president follows through with what he says. When he says something, no matter how silly you might think it sounds, there's a good chance that he's going to follow through on what he says. And we're seeing that. And I feel like that's a pretty good tell for the stock market. And you know, we saw this recently. If go into another sector where we just saw this in LAC with a big investment in lithium. When the U.S. government makes a big investment in lithium, let's look at the other lithium companies that are dealing in the exact same commodity. Why didn't they buy the other company? Because they chose LAC, but the other ones they're following. And so those are like the little divergences, or I like to call it kind of common sense trading.
Yeah, that's such a great point. Look to the other stocks in that sector that could also see some growth. And I think all of these stocks, whether it's lithium or even energy right now, it all relates back to tech because all of these things are growing because of the demand for tech. Let's get on to the third name on your list, Jonathan, because it's a little bit outside of tech, but it's still very much related to tech.
Uranium is ripping higher. The cash price of uranium, which is actually kind of difficult to find, it's called the spot price, continues to trade higher. So all the uranium companies are following suit. My favorite uranium company right now is actually a uranium royalty company. And you'll notice that LEU is a name that's up gabillion%, this year. So where can we find other companies that will benefit off the price of uranium that aren't necessarily just running higher? UROY, UROY, is a uranium royalty company that invests in uranium companies, and they get to just clip royalties, just like a gold royalty company. It's still like a $500 million market cap, pretty inexpensive stock, and it's a great way for a long-term investment in uranium that seems to be the energy of the future.
Yeah, I think as we see so much demand for AI and so much growth in data centers, the turn to nuclear energy is something we've talked about many times on this channel. Investors have been looking at for a while. This is the first time I think this name has popped up on our channel. So I'm glad you brought us a new name today. Talk a little bit more about what makes this one unique. Are there other uranium royalty companies out there, or is this kind of a unique niche in this uranium market?
One of our mantras that I repeat often is the creative trader wins. If uranium is going higher, how can we express an opinion to get long uranium without chasing what's 20% higher than yesterday? Because nobody wants to just buy at the top. And so through research, UROY seemed like a really, really good, just stable, long-term play where we don't have to deal with the volatility of many uranium names. And uranium names are going to be volatile because the cash price is very difficult to get. The cash price is probably only public a couple of times a week. So that's why uranium companies are extremely volatile. But UROY is one that if it does trade against us, I would feel confident continuing to add because we want to trade the long-term theme of uranium.
Yeah, and like you said, a really low entry point for this one. So it's a great stock for those wanting to invest in the market and not have to put too much investment forward with it. A great pick, Jonathan. Let's move on to that fourth company you have for us today.
The U.S. government, and this has been the theme, where the U.S. government comes in, they invest in Intel, they invest in LAC, they invest in deep sea mining. Well, did some more research. The U.S. government is invested in two biotechs. One biotech is too small to share here, but the other biotech, which I absolutely love, another long-term holding, ticker symbol TEM, Tempest. TEM, it's going to be a little bit more volatile than UROY. I am bullish TEM. And if it trades down to 85 or 80, I'm not going to think, oh no, I'm wrong. I'm going to think that we're at a blue light special and things are on sale and we're going to get better levels.
Yeah, this is a name that a lot of our viewers have been excited about for a while. I think it popped up in August when it had that almost $15 to $20 jump just almost overnight. It's been, like you said, a lot of volatility, a lot of growth. Let's talk about the company itself. What is so exciting about this biotech company? There's so many out there. Why are we seeing so much interest in this one specifically?
It's the US government showing their hand. It's the same exact trade as rare earth metals. Biotech is going to be the hot topic once they figure out how to use AI really to research drugs. And so that's going to be the story. It's just a matter of when, not if. And I think the best thing to do is look where governments are investing. Specifically, right now, there are so many examples right now of the US government not wanting that FOMO, not wanting to miss the lithium move, not wanting to miss a move in batteries. You're going to see it. There's going to be tungsten companies are going to start peaking up, graphene companies, all these rare earth metals. We're going to see IPOs or SPACs. They're going to come into the market and it's getting in front of it and anticipating if the governments want to invest in this stuff, it's because they're concerned that they're not going to have access. It's not to make a return.
Yeah, really good point. Another good company to talk about. The chart is always so interesting on Tempest AI. Thanks for bringing this one.
Yeah.
Let's move to the fifth and final name you have for us today of a tech stock that's kind of flying under the radar right now.
Another one that I really like. I've done a ton of research on this, and I actually found this again to stick with the theme of the government investing. This was Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners Fund invested $250 million in QXO. QXO is the CEO is Brad Jacobs. Brad Jacobs is known as the roll-up king, they call him, because he was the one behind XPO for shipping. And he made XPO 20 times or 30 times. And right now, the goal with QXO is to consolidate the building industry. It's very fragmented right now. And so QXO, along with Home Depot, are looking to consolidate the building industry. But QXO is still about a $15 billion market cap now compared to Home Depot, which is obviously quite a bit more.
Yeah, I think I like this stock a lot because it's new on our channel. We haven't talked about before, but also the upside projections on this one are really great. From where it's trading today, right now, analysts, the average consensus price is about a 75% upside. So that's a really good look at a stock that has some room to run ahead of it. Let's talk a little bit about what could help get this stock moving higher. It's had kind of sideways movement for a little while. What kind of catalyst would be needed to get this to see that big jump?
This is really what I do. I really enjoy the hunt, the research. So, we have our premium products and we are long QXO, but we're also long the potential names because if they're looking to consolidate the industry, these names there's going to be bidding wars for. QXO bought a company called Beacon, and then Home Depot just outbid QXO for a company called GMS. As they're looking to buy these companies, again, rising tide lifts all ships. What's can help QXO? Well, the word getting out about the stock. And 2 weeks ago, Barron's ran a one-pager on QXO. So that's what we need. And now we're starting to see analysts following the stock, higher price targets, and it's just word getting out. And also realizing that the fella behind it, Brad Jacobs, Google that name. That's a winner. We want to invest in winners.
Another really interesting name. I think this one could have some good room to run for investors out there, long term or short term. Again, I think it's important to share that you are looking at these stocks and how to make money off of them in trades every day. Tell us a little bit about your show and what kind of names you're talking about, too.
Every day I'm live, 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's been a lot of fun. We get on usually 10 minutes early. Folks in the chat are all saying good morning. It's just a really cool vibe. Something to note about all the trades that I'm sharing with you guys too. These are off the beaten path names. I think that the edge for retail traders is to be creative, to look where everybody else isn't looking. So back to that example of Katos, if a stock's ripping higher and everybody's talking about it, what stocks are closely correlated with Katos? If it continues to go higher, which stocks are going to be pulled higher because of that move? That's just a really cool way to trade. And it lets you find these trades that you might be, or tickers that you might not have seen before.
Yeah, such a great point, and exactly what a lot of retail investors are looking for. So you can find more from Jonathan in his channel. Again, he gives away trades every day on his live show at 11. If you're new to trading or just want to learn a little bit more about options, again, he has a free training video for you to watch too. You can just scan the QR code or click the link in the description and watch that video and enter his live show totally for free. Again, it's just another great resource for people who are looking to learn some different ways to invest and make money in the market. Jonathan, thank you so much for sharing these names today.
This was awesome. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for watching, everyone. Let us know in the comments. Are these names you've heard of before? Are you invested in any of them? Or are there some other off the beaten names that you are interested in right now? Share those tickers in the comments. We love to hear your thoughts too. Thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, happy investing.